Hey there guys, welcome back. Today I want to cover one of the stables for Imperial Knights, the Warglaive Armiger. This guy's pretty much a most list for a lot of player. He's a great hybrid model, he can do shooting and combat very well. He comes in with a standard stat line of a healthy 12-inch move, the lower toughness at 9, 3-up save in the open with a 5-up invuln for ranged only, healthy 14 wounds, which is a buff now. You have leadership 7, OC 6, which is pretty good for a single model, and they come in at 140 points currently as of October 2025. But usually during data slates and buffs and nerfs, these guys fluctuate by 10 points give or take. The Warglaive covers a great hybrid role, doing great shooting and melee, and that's represented by its weapon loadout. On the roof you have a carapace option, you can have a heavy stubber or a melter gun. The heavy stubber has rapid fire 3 with 3 shots at base, so at 18 inches you would have 6 shots, hitting on 3, which is a standard for the Imperial Knight army, strength 4, AP 1, damage 1, just great at flinging to horde, chaff, whatever, plink a few wounds off them. You do have the melter gun, which is just a standard melter, so it's melted 2 with d6 for the base damage, just 12-inch range, 1 shot, strength 9, AP 4. A lot of people do prefer the melter, I feel, with the Warglaive, because you are a hybrid model, you're trying to get into combat as well, where you can still shoot the melter gun, and if it does connect, ooh, it puts out some damage. Your primary range weapon is the thermal spear with melter 4, which is a lot of damage output. 18-inch range, 2 shots, hitting on 3, strength 12 is very good, AP 4 and damage is d6 with possible melter 4 at 9 inches and under. These guys are amazing at ripping into hard targets, especially now that other Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights have dropped down to tier 11, there is a bit of a buff there. For your melee option, you have the Reaper Chain Cleaver. You have a strike and a sweep profile, both hitting on 3, but the strike is 4 attacks at strength 10, AP 3, flat 3 damage. Great into a lot of marine profiles, where you've got Terminators and a lot of Gravis armor running around 3 wounds where you can just one-shot them, and the high AP does punish them. Then you have your sweep profile, which is double attacks at 8, with strength 8, AP 2, and damage 1. Great in clearing hordes, no problem there. Kind of sucks into Space Marine profiles where their higher wound pool can be a bit hard to get through. Though, the model's unique rule, Impetuous Glory, on the charge you gain 1 attack to your strike and you gain 2 attacks to the sweep. This did get changed in our new codex. It used to be, I think, sustain hits on the charge. This is way better because you're improving your base value, which you can then even further improve by getting sustained hits in many ways in the codex. In terms of your army rule, the deeds and the quality, the guy does excel with 2 options here. Your first option is your nightly reroll, which is probably what most people go with, where you can reroll a hit and reroll 1 wound roll in the shoot and the fight phase. This guy has a low number of attacks but the high quality attacks, so definitely worth rerolling and guaranteeing the damage you're getting through. The other option is your movement buff in the quality section, where you can get a 2-inch move plus 1 advance into the charge rolls, making him getting to combat way easier, and this even excels further in detachments like Valorous Strike, which we'll cover later on. In terms of synergy, like the Helverin, they do okay with the Dominus Knights who can give them cover if they're nearby, but these guys are more aggressive and tend to be pushing into the front line. Unless you're running the Knight Valiant there with the big flamer trying to get a bit more close, you might not be having this interaction. In terms of Bondsman, the brand new Defender really supports him quite well, giving him -1 damage buff to the Armiger, so when it's out there brawling and doing its hybrid role, it's way harder for your opponents to kill it. The brand new Preceptors do very good as well, where they can give a target full wound reroll into the quarry target. It can really guarantee those high quality attacks getting through. The Crusader, never a bad option, +1 to hit, you would never complain. Again though, the Warglaive tends to get a little bit further out ahead and gets into combat, he might be out of range of the Bondsman. Even the Castigator can be a very fun one. It is a more aggressive knight with melee, so wants to be up there with the Warglaive hopefully. Its Bondsman gives out sustain hits 1 and improved AP on the ranged weapons for the Armiger, making your Thermal Spear go up to AP 5, and in some cases making that not even interactable, even if your opponent has a good save. AP 5 is a bit obnoxious if they're in the open, maybe no cover, they just have to take the damage. In addition, sustain hits 1, like look, you're banking on 2 shots on the Thermal Spear, but if you hit on the 6, oh, it's going to feel great getting extra melter shot in there. The Paladin is a great all-rounder, giving your Warglaive, Lance, and lethal hits, definitely both things it's trying to do anyway. The Gallant isn't a bad option, he's going to be alongside with the Warglaive if you're trying to do a full melee build, running up the board. His Bondsman gives out reroll charge and reroll melee hits, definitely what the Warglaive would love. And the Lance is not a bad option, giving advance and charge to the Warglaive. This is definitely better in Valor Strike, where your weapons can gain assault every time you advance, so you can shoot, advance, and charge. Detachments definitely worth considering. Gate Warden, defensive line, if you're on the line, sustain hits 1 for shooting and melee, not a bad option with anything in the army. Definitely a few stratagems to consider. They are more valuable on your big knights, but when it comes to Warglaive, it's never a bad idea either. Drive them out lets you crit on a 5 for shooting all the fight phase if you're on the line. Not bad, especially considering you can try and get those sustained hits. And on the line, you ignore modifiers to your shooting, so your thermal spear, even if you're tagged in combat, still hits on a 3. Lancebreaker gives your knight a -1 to wound if their strength is greater than your toughness, and with the Warglaives having reduced toughness now, it does come up. Steadfast lets you reroll the hit in melee, not a bad option, and Martial Defense can make your Imperial Knights quicker out of the gate, making those Warglaives move at least 15 inches. Valor Strike is probably the one a lot of people like right now. When you advance, your ranged weapons gain Assault, meaning the Warglaive can do great early on shooting, getting those melter guns into range, and you can hopefully get them into combat as well. 3 stratagems that definitely help would be Run Them Through, giving you Lance on your melee, helping you trade up to bigger targets. Full Tilt can make your Armiger very fast with 2 to move, 2 to advance, and Tactical Foil gives you a reactive move, getting that Warglaive into hopefully block opponent or get close into combat. Spearhead-at-arms is definitely where you want to be playing Warglaives, absolutely. They become battle lines, so you can run up to 6 of them, and Bondsman is tripled out by the big knights. All the stratagems in this detachment work very well and make your armor just definitely scary. Virtue of Courage will give you a +1 to hit in the fight, making you hit on 2s, and the way these stratagems work is either to one single Armiger, or if it's had a Bondsman trigger, you hit the big knight, and the big knight will also give that stratagem out to the 3 knights currently affected by its Bondsman. Then you've got Exemplar's Wisdom. If the little Armiger shoots at the same target as Big Dad did, if it's under the effects of Bondsman, improve its AP on its ranged weapons, where you can again create an uninteractive AP5 melter. Mantle of the Mentor can give you fallback and shoot, which is always great if you're in pinch. Thin their ranks is disgusting. You can gain rapid fire 1 on your ranged weapons, so if your Warglaive is at 6 inches and under, you have rapid fire 1 on your Carapace Melter and rapid fire 1 on your Thermal Spear. Some of you have now got 5 melter gun shots under 6 inches. That is terrifying. Let Duty be your shield. It's Armor of Contempt for your Armigers in the shooting phase. And Squire's Hunt is a very strong movement ability for your Armigers, where they can go from the side of the board into reserves and come back in, which will help with those melter guns coming into range very early on. There's even plenty of strong enhancements in this detachment. The enhancements go on a Big Knight, which then through their Bondsman ability give this enhancement effect to Armigers as well. Mentor's Pride, while they're under the influence, will give you reroll hits of 1, which is never bad. Fables of Nightmare can be kind of funny, giving your Armigers precision in melee, meaning Warglaives with their decent melee profile can hunt out characters and just eliminate them. Tales of Heroism can give your Armigers ignore all modifiers to hit and wound. If they're on their last legs, they're bracketed, or you've got some shenanigans going on, definitely helps there. And Martial Tuition can let them use the counter-offensive stratagem for 0 CP, meaning you can change the flow of battle and hopefully thin their ranks down before they take out an Armiger. Questora's Companions doesn't have much interaction with the Armiger Warglaive. All the stratagems and enhancements care about big knights. You still can get Bondsman through them, but it's more focused on the big guys. But you would still never complain running a Warglaive if you're trying to make up the points. That is the Warglaive. Definitely a staple in the Imperial Knight army. People love him. He's efficient in shooting and combat. He does the job well. He feels like a great costed light vehicle, medium tier vehicle, I'd say. The T9 now. Maybe when the T10 I would say medium vehicle. They are great value for what they can do, and they are the backbone of every Imperial Knight army. So let me know down below what you think about the little Warglaive. How do you paint them? Do you like running them? Do you prefer them over the Helverin? Or are you team Morax? I think the Morax will be the next video, and then I'll start getting onto the bigger knights. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and please give the video a like and a sub. We are definitely getting some good attention, and thanks to my patrons for your support. I cannot thank you enough. See ya.
On the one hand, gold. On the other hand, painful, agonizing failure.